Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Reverend Laughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. Again, Happy New Year. Great starting off 2026, this first week of the year. When I'm not doing the shows, I do 3 shows every Thursday, back to back to back. This is the middle one, the Wise Ones. I research the human body at the cellular level. I call myself a researcher. That's what my passion is. I love to just dive into the cellular level of the body, chemically or biologically speaking. What's going on down there? What can you do to speed things up? What can you do to fix things, to change things, to slow them down? But I provide the information about what you can do. But if you don't do something, my talk last week, if you're not doing the things you need to do, what is the worst case scenario? And what are the things that lead up to it? So I look at what's good and what's bad. But I also consider myself a decision support manual writer for people who age, because most of my focus is on aging and longevity, age-related diseases. So that's me. My guest today is Mike Martin. He's a good friend of mine, a fellow Vietnam veteran. He's living here in the Texas area now, and he has been involved in a number of things over the years. So, Mike, please join us up here on stage. Howdy, sir.
What do I do?
Straighten up in your chair, number 1. Okay, there we go. And you got a smile on, that's number 2. And Mike, you and I are about the same age, and as we get older, things happen. And sometimes they're not so good. Sometimes they're okay. So I know you have a personal story because it leads into our topic today a little bit on you're a veteran business owner, and that business focuses on health and wellness, but from a unique aspect. So why don't we start with your personal story first, and then we'll just kind of lead it down the road and see what happens.
Real quickly, the personal story is this: I graduated from high school on a Friday, started the university on Monday, received the draft notice on Thursday, and I was blessed that I had been in college for 3 whole days. That gave me a deferment, so I did not have to go into the Army right away. But what I ended up doing is finding a program through the United States Navy Reserves that allowed me to stay in college, get my degree, get a commission as a commissioned officer. And then for some reason, they had this brilliant idea that I should become one of their business managers, one of the Navy supply officers. So that's what I ended up being trained as. But, luck has it, I ended up going to Vietnam anyway, not on board a ship. I did just a shade under 4 years active duty, all shore-based duty. The very first year after Supply Corps school was at a Marine Corps Air Base in Southern California. And from there, I went to an Air Force base in my hometown of Tucson, Arizona, Davis-Monthan. And that's where the boneyard is for all military aircraft. So I was working for Nav Air at that time. Great experiences, great, people that I worked for. In fact, some of those people then helped me get my set up, or what do you say, my introduction into the corporate world. One of the folks worked for a corporate headhunter, and I ended up going back to Orange County, California, having 4 interviews in 2 days, receiving 3 job offers, and I accepted one with a sort of a baby company at the time, but you'll know it very well. I ended up working for Mother Xerox that I ended up staying with for 23 years until they said, we have an offer for you. And that offer was, well, we need you to come to Rochester, New York. And they said, and I asked one question, is that a permanent assignment? And they said, yep, if you want to move up in this company, you're going to have to basically, stay in Rochester. So at that point, I made a decision and left Xerox, started my first little small business venture. And then about a year into that, unfortunately, is when the first effects that were very visible about Agent Orange hit me. That was in the mid 90s. So about 25 years after I'd come home from Vietnam. Through the years, I've been in the VA medical health care system, and they generally work at identifying symptoms, not really looking to get to the causes. So I have been, over those years, looking to find things that help me that are not RX based, that have side effects. And that's basically my whole premise. So I've spent a lot of time in this world at what we call it, holistic, alternative, homeopathic. I mean, there's probably 17 other words that we can use to talk about that field that is doing things from a different standpoint. And I'm excited to be working in that area. I've met some wonderful people that from different modalities, and some of those modalities have helped me immensely. Some of them haven't. It's just, different things work for different people. And all I'm trying to get everybody to do at this point is let's be open and look at all alternatives, because you never know what's going to work for you in particular. So you just got to keep doing your research.
Like, it's interesting.
That's how I met this wonderful man here. I call him Dr. Red because we actually met through Navy connections. So that's been a wonderful time.
Well, I, like you, also brought home a souvenir from Vietnam called Agent Orange, but mine didn't affect me until about 50 years after I left there. So I guess it depends on how close you were, how often it was there. I mean, it's in the water, it's in the ground, it's in the air, it's all over the place. And it's just one of those things that sometimes your immune system's pretty good. It can fight it off for a long time, but we get older and things change and they're just not operate as well as they used to. So those are things that we need to be aware of. So I know your health has changed a lot over, let's say, the last 10, 15 years. And it's one of those things that now it's, okay, I'm going to make 90 years of age, 80 years of age, whatever it is. We don't necessarily have a goal for reaching an age. Our goal is more, I want to be healthy at 80 years of age. I want to be healthy at 90 years of age. I don't want somebody changing my diaper for 5 years, because that's not a good quality of life. Yep. So how can you help people improve the quality of their lives?
Well, one of the things that I recently, this actually late 24, I started hearing about some stuff with omegas. Didn't really do anything with it until Q2 25, and started doing some research about a company that's based out of Scandinavia who have developed some tests, Western medicine style and approved blood tests to measure different markers that are being measured along the lines that Western medicine does anyway. For example, one of those measurements is your A1C. Another measurement is vitamin D. Another measurement is a recent announcement is microbiome. The biggest one that we measure is the balance between an omega 6 and an omega 3. If you ask your doctors, your PCP doctors, most of them might be aware of that test. It is a test that is not within the family of normal panels. So it's kind of interesting from that standpoint. The way we have done more than 1.7 million of these tests in the last 20 years.
It's interesting that you talk about that test because the gold standard used to be homocysteine level for your heart. And that was a pretty good one. They replaced it with the omega 6 to omega 3 ratio. Not that many years ago, I say within the last 5 years, but about the beginning of COVID, I started seeing a lot of that information out there. I'm glad to see your company does use that because that's a pretty,
it's a pretty amazing test when we get the results. Now, we do use the Evitas labs, which are in Norway. So when people do a test here in the United States, it's mailed in to a pickup place in Florida, Jupiter, Florida. Then they put them all in a big bags, and then they ship them over to Norway. So it takes about 2 weeks to get the results. But when you get the results back, it's a small manual. It's about a 25-page report. Red, you would love reading the results. In fact, I'll get you a copy of mine because you'll have to explain to me because I've been doing it for a while. All I know is what it told me. Now, it told me that on my first result, the balance number between omega 6 and omega 3s are both essential fatty acids. One is bad, one is good. We all know about omega 3s, right? More omega 3s you have, the better you are. So there's a balance. Now that balance is supposed to be 3-1 is the number I've been told. I've also heard 4-1. So anywhere in that range, you're going to be pretty much in the safe zone.
Yeah, the omega 3 and omega 6 are, as you say, essential. We don't make them in our bodies.
Correct.
You have to get it through the food you eat. So
through food or supplementation is how you get it. And the question then becomes, what's the quality of food and what's the quality of stuff that you might be taking?
Well, your vegetable oils primarily are your sources of your omega 6s. And up to a point, they're essential and they're needed. But if you get too many of them, then all of a sudden it becomes inflammatory in the body, and that's not what you need.
That's exactly correct. Right.
Now, ideally, if you had a 1-to-1, that's kind of the best safe scenario. But as you said, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 4-to-1 is generally play. If it's beyond 4-to-1, now you're starting to get in that area. But the standard American diet could easily be anywhere from 30-to-1 to 50-to-1.
Correct.
Because we don't eat omega 3s, and most of the processed foods use omega 6s. It's just one of those things out there that just contributes to our health issues.
Right. Well, all that it could be the precursors to any of the major disease sets that are out there. So heart disease, diabetes, all of that stuff. If you don't take care of yourself and work on this balance, you can get very, very sick over the long haul. Now, my number came back from that first test at 28-to-1. Now, the worldwide statistics from this company, and they're over 20 years old worldwide. And again, remember what I said, they've done like 1.7 million tests. The average number is coming in worldwide around 25.
That's still too high.
Way too high. So what we recommend is we have a product called the Balance Oil that is a combination of fish. So when we talk the fish, excuse me, we're talking about the mackerel, the heavy duty fish stuff, polyphenols. We are 60% fish, 40% pre-harvested virgin olive oil. Again, saving the polyphenols. The company invented a process that we're able, in the cleaning process for the fish, be able to maintain the polyphenol levels at a much higher level than most other companies that are out there today.
Yeah, most of the time they tell you when you have a mackerel or salmon or something like that, if it's you have to worry about heavy metals, mercury, and other things that are toxins in the seawater. Olive oil is an omega-9 oil. It's not essential, but it's certainly healthy. It's certainly something worth. In fact, I take an O3, O6, O9 as part of my supplements. But it's one of those things that most of us are unaware that omega-6 actually exists, and the fact that it can become inflammatory because all of our prepared foods are generally cooked with some level of vegetable oil in there somewhere. So
Correct.
It's not just a mere fact that I'm frying French fries in corn oil. It's a mere fact that the potatoes are processed with omega-6s. So we end up having a super huge amount of omega-6s and very little omega-3s. And so it's not surprising, as I mentioned earlier, 30 to 50 is not uncommon with the standard American diet.
Exactly.
And so what's your more recent reading on that?
Well, so what we recommend is drinking this oil as a starter deal for 120 days or 4 months. So we have bottles that are 300 milliliters, and that's 300 milliliters is about the amount you're going to need for 1 30-day period. So I did my test for the 120-day period, and when I got back the second test, my number had gone down to 4.3. So
Impressive.
very impressive movement. Now here's the better part, though, and Red, you're going to love this part because it was actually a VA doctor. And you know that I'm not real high on them, but they actually, one of the things they do when you go to the VA, as you're finishing up your appointment with your doctors, the last thing they do is review your med list. So she's going over my med list, and she says, "Oh, look at this one. This one's expiring. I'm not going to renew that one." And then she went on to another one, and then she went on to a third one. And I said, "Well, why aren't you renewing it?" "Well, your numbers have gotten so good, you don't need to be taking this one anymore."
Congratulations.
And one of those, Brad, you'll love this, metformin.
Yeah.
So I'm still off of the metformin. I'm off of the atorvastatin, and then they had me on some kind of vitamin B supplement for some reason. Anyway, but the more impressive thing of the whole thing was, she says, "I don't know what you're doing, but your A1C went from 6.6 to 5.6.
Again, pretty impressive.
So, and that was in 120-day period.
It's a test that I recommend a lot, talk about a lot. It's called C-reactive protein. And that goes along with the inflammation thing you were talking about earlier. The omega-6s inflame the body if you have too many of them.
Yep.
But when your body is inflamed, it creates this protein called C-reactive protein. And it's easily measured. It's a blood test, but it doesn't tell you where the inflammation's at. It could be in your heart, your liver, your gut. It just says you have it, and then you need to figure out where. But we're getting real close to doing a commercial break here. And why don't we just go ahead and stop where we're at right now. We'll come back after the break, pick up on inflammation, and then continue on talking about your company. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In a world quick to judge, one book dares to reveal the hidden cost of silence. Discover Holy but Harmful: The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives, by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. The Amazon #1 bestseller that's transforming the way we understand ourselves and the way we see others. Pick up the companion workbook to uncover your own hidden judgments and learn how to break free from them. Available now on Amazon and at fine bookstores worldwide.
Bert Laughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My guest today is Mike Martin, a fellow veteran, a fellow Vietnam attendee. We got invitations way back when that were very, very difficult to turn down. But nowadays, he's involved in health and wellness, really focused on improving his health, which he's done here literally within the last year. So, Mike, please join me back up here on stage.
Sure, thank you.
The one thing about inflammation is that I want to make sure we understand is that inflammation causes DNA mutations, and about 95, 98% of diseases start at that DNA level. And so if you're constantly bombarded with inflammation and you were at 28-1, that's just constant back and forth. You start getting that inflammation moderated, it doesn't go into the next level and kind of attenuates that risk of developing something. But the company you're dealing with now is different than most. It's just, oh, here's a supplement, it works. But
this company's been around for over 20 years. They started in Norway. Their headquarters are actually in Sweden. We are currently marketing in 53 countries around the world. And what's the interesting part is, for those of us here in the United States of America, we have very little penetration. I mentioned earlier that we've done a total of about 1.7 million blood tests to measure the balance of the omegas. And that's just the one set of tests that we're doing.
What's the name of the company?
The name of the company is Zino, ZINZINO.com. And then there is a number. I think we're going to put that up on the screen later. Or anybody can call me at my phone number at 925-323-1093, and I can send you a QR code as well. So they've been around doing these tests worldwide. It's very much integrated into the Western medicine groups that are in Europe. Many customers over there, and we just recently opened China, Japan, and Taiwan. So we're all over the place. The last company that they opened, Peru. It's kind of interesting. So some of these are direct in, some of them are through some marketing agreements that you have to do just because of the kind of things that are going on. We have a number of different products. We are a test-based nutritional preventative medicine company. We're resurrecting spirulina as a product and very high grade, high quality stuff. We do testing for A1C, for vitamin D. We have a brand new patented microbiome test that is marine based, not feline or bovine based. So there's things that we're doing that are upsetting the Western medicine cart, and many doctors now actually carry our test, even though insurance companies are not covering it. We're on the edge of having some things here in the United States be covered by the HSA, FSA, programs that happen to be out there right now.
Europe has a more focus on health than the United States does, so it's not unusual that a lot of that stuff would be over there and very, very common.
Yes.
In the United States, we don't have that. We have a system that's set up, but we're really not as health focused as Europe. we're more focused on what's the symptom, what can I do to bury the symptom or get rid of it.
Exactly.
And sometimes we want to get rid of that system. You have a cough, you have a sore throat, you have something, you want to get rid of it because it's just not making your life, quality at all. That being part of the problem with our medicines, the fact that it's all focused on the symptom and not on the cause. Now you're talking about a test-based preventive maintenance program, because now I have a test. Here's my level here. I take this particular supplement. Now my level's down here. That's good. And you told us about the story there with the VA. So if you can get off of those meds that you don't need, that's a major improvement for your health.
That is number one. Number one goal for all of us should be, let's get off those meds, because there are side effects. And some of those side effects are what you call, Red, the invisible ones. You just don't know what it's going to get you.
Now, you've been involved with other things out there too, and sometimes we have a supplement that it's just all natural because there's just things there that I don't need, as you say, metformin, but there's metformin-like natural products out there. I mean, the big deal nowadays is GLP-1, Ozempic and Wegovy and stuff, but there are a lot of things out there that are natural GLP-1 agonists that will work, but that's not what they tell you. But they'll get you to spend $1,500 on this injection because that fits their business plan.
Exactly.
But you have this other business that you've been in for a while.
Yeah,
I think
I've been doing the other one for over 15 years. I still do it. I still use the products. I'm one of the master distributors for an outfit called Real Time Pain Relief. It's a topical analgesic made from nature's ingredients. And the ingredient sets are the number of ingredients per product type are anywhere from, I think the minimum is like 12, but the mainline products, one of the products is called Max, and it's the one that's endorsed by the professional bull riders. It has 18 different ingredients. For those of us that were sports fans and boxing fans, the Olympic champion George Foreman recently passed away here in Houston earlier in 2025. He connected with us by finding us at a flea market. He got together with our guys and they developed a product, and his product was called the Knockout Formula, and it had 24 different ingredients. In 2018, the big rage that happened then is when our government legalized CBD with THC at 0.3 or below in the formula. And we came out with a product that has CBD, but we went one more step and took all the THC out. Now, the THC is I call it the loco weed, the hallucinogenic portion of that. So we extract that. But parts of our government still say, it cannot be used on, like for the military. They can't use even our stuff at all. So, but our stuff, people love what they put on. It does not have the offensive smells, because most of the things that are out there today have one major ingredient. That's menthol. And they start at around 4% menthol and go up to 10 or 12%. I've seen 12% in a Tiger Bomb bottle one time. I went, holy moly, that'll burn you a little bit. But yeah, our stuff is great. And please, anybody that wants to call me, if you're local to me, we'll make sure that if you want to try it, I'll let you try it anytime if I'm around someplace, or we make an arrangement. So the key for people to do is get a hold of me and let's have a conversation. And I can tell you hundreds, if not thousands, of stories where people have put our stuff on, and some of them get instantaneous relief, but generally speaking, it's within 30 minutes they're finding relief, and they start out by buying a little one, and eventually they always end up ordering the big ones, which last a lot longer.
Do you have a little slogan that you use with that?
Oh yeah, see, you remember it. I was just going to go there. Yeah, the slogan is "Rub it on, the pain is gone." And my story here, I'll tell you this: I was told by the VA that Mr. Mike Beer would have to have knee replacement surgery within 5 years of when I had those X-rays done. That was about 9 years ago. Well, no, it was more than that. It was like 13 years ago. So I went way past the marker because they said, well, you're going to have to probably do this within 4 or 5 years of the X-ray date. Didn't happen. I still, to this day, have not had knee replacement surgery. I did have open heart surgery, and I had my right hip replaced. Both times I used it to help me heal faster, and my healing process did go significantly faster, and I was able to get out simply because the properties of the ingredients are so magical. They really are. It's a synergistic combination of nature's ingredients that helps get things working a lot faster. And I've been using it for a long time. We have millions of customers out there.
Mike, you've been a business owner now for a while. Let's say somebody comes to you, they're interested in, I want to be part of this business. What are some of the things, 2 or 3 things that are super critical to get somebody who is not an entrepreneur, somebody who's looking for a side hustle in order to help them down the road? What are those things they really need in a mindset in order to operate their own business that you found successful?
Well, I for me personally, I think having a positive outlook, doing your goal setting, and by the goal setting, I mean those are both personal and professional and health goals. Knowing your numbers. All businesses are based on numbers, and those numbers are a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But the key secret in selling anything, and we sell all the time, is you have to talk to people. All you have to do is talk to people. And if you did that just at a minimum of 2 people a day, imagine how your base of contacts is going to grow. Because you're going to say something to these folks that, that they're going to remember, and they're going to say, oh, what did that guy tell me? Or you may give them a little sample or something. I told somebody a story the other day. We used to give out samples with a real-time deal. 7 years later, I get a phone call. This lady says, hey, I was just cleaning my kitchen and I found this stuff. And I tried it. Even though it was old, I still tried it. And it works. How do I buy more?
Kind of hard to argue with that, isn't it?
It's very hard to argue. I said, well, hell, what do you need? So it's good when you know that things can be very helpful for you. And when it reduces the pain, it goes back to that key word you used, Red, quality of life.
I do have one question based on a word that you used earlier in your personal story, Xerox. The question is, when I heard Xerox back in the 70s, 80s, whatever it was, I was told that the company found a word that didn't exist in any language. Is there any truth to that?
Dry writing, yes. They helped create that word. That actually was a trademarked word. And back in the I think was it when did the Watergate trials go on? I can't remember the late 70s, early 80s.
But was it earlier than that?
It may have been a little bit earlier than that. I can't remember. My dates are off a little bit. But Sam Ervin was being televised up there, Senator Sam Ervin, and he turned to one of the aides and he yelled out so everybody could hear it on the TV. He says, "Go Xerox this." And he was using the word Xerox as a verb. He had a letter in his hands 4 hours later reprimanding him that Xerox was a trademark name.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think I was in Thailand when we heard that Lyndon B. Johnson would not run for re-election. So I have to think that Watergate was probably in about that same time frame, early 70s, mid 70s. It's, things kind of blur way back when. Some things are super clear, other ones aren't. So
I know that it had to be after 72 because I joined Xerox in 72.
Okay.
Xerox at the time was analog. The word digital did not exist. So my growing up phase with that company was I helped them go from analog to digital.
Well, how do people get in touch with you? How do they get your products?
On everything. The best way in all cases is to get a hold of me. I don't know if we posted it, but my phone number, area code 925-323-1093, or my website, MikeMartinC3.com, MikeMartinC3.com. And all the companies that I represent are posted there. And I'm basically a connector, a collaborator, and a conseiller. Let's talk about how we can work together to help you live a longer, healthier life. Thank you.
You have any speaking engagements or anything coming up? Because I know you do that.
Yeah, I haven't been out this year. I went to several high schools this year and talked about the Vietnam experience. And if anybody out there is listening to this and would like to have somebody give a different perspective on the Vietnam experience, again, I was a rear area guy, but let me tell you, I know hundreds, if not thousands of us that are still left alive. 2.594 million served boots on the ground in Vietnam.
It's interesting. Kids say the darndest thing. I think there was a TV show with that. I was doing a presentation on Vietnam to a bunch of Boy Scouts, and the very first question that came up was, "How many people did you kill?" And
that used to happen all the time. And over the years, I've been able to train the teachers to control that.
Yeah.
Because in the stories that the grunts would tell, those storylines would come out.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
I'm an aviator, so I didn't kill anybody. What we were doing was finding people, not launching anything. But anyway, Mike, thank you so very much. I look forward to our next conversation. Maybe even tomorrow at lunch if you're there. So, Mike,
I'm going to try to get there if I can. I know I missed things this Christmas. I've recovery from some of the stuff that's been going on.
Take care, Senor. We'll catch you later on.
Thank you very much.
Brett O'Loughlin here. We're getting ready to wrap up the Wise Ones today. Again, 3 shows every Thursday, 11, 12, and 1 o'clock Central Time. My show coming up next is called Talking Heads. My topic is fix the system, not the goal. We're talking about New Year's resolutions. Why does 90% of the people literally they set a goal and they don't make it? So we'll talk a little bit about that. But when you look at what controls what we do is our subconscious mind. And most of us have, well, number one, no concept of our subconscious mind. Number two, we don't know how to talk to it. Everything that we see and feel and touch and do is part of our conscious world. But that only controls about 5% of what we really do, because the subconscious mind controls your beliefs, your habits, the things that get you through day by day by day. So that is what I want to concentrate on today, give some people some support information saying, okay, these are why we fail. If you're aware of that may help you, but here's some other things over here. So let's go ahead and wrap up the show today, and I will join you next week. Take care. Bye now, y'all.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged? when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive. And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the listening mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacalyn.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life, one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck is the listening mentor. Start your journey today. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.